Sarm AC262. This is going to be Ricky's first cycle of anything. I wanted to go with something experimental, but that I also know is safe. We got his blood work done before we're going to start this cycle. That way we can get his blood work done during and after his AC262 cycle. I'm putting him on a low dosage of 10 milligrams. That's one pill of Sarm AC262. I've done experiments where we've gone up to 30 milligrams on both a bodybuilder who came off everything else, so we used it as a bridge, and also on bodybuilders who are running it in conjunction with other gear as a foundation. And the results were absolutely extraordinary, but I have never tried the AC262 on a guy who's been completely natty, like 100% natty. Because normally I would start them on something like Ostarine or something more mild, something safer. But with you, I could see the glimmer in your eyes. Like it just wouldn't be enough for you because you've had an epiphany that you got to live every moment to its fullest, and you only live once.
Yep. No, it was ever since we did that video and you knocked me on the floor with one hit. So I said, I got to get on Tony's level. So
it's great when
you
say that we can actually insert the video right here. So insert. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So questions. I have a lot. So in regards to how long do I run this for? Like how long?
I'd say
usually?
Plan on running it for a month. We get your lab work. Then you look at your lab work and you decide whether you want to run it longer. And because the thing is, this is sort of your gateway. Once you start experimenting with stuff, you kind of just what everybody ends up doing. They want to go a little bit more, a little bit different.
Okay.
So it's kind of according to your preference.
Okay.
But we don't know what your preference is until we get to that point. So we'll just commit to 1 month first.
Okay. And so 1 month. Okay. And when do I take it? What's the optimum workout regime?
I would take it first thing in the morning because you're not taking anything else. And we still hope to maintain your natural testosterone production. SARMs and steroids can reduce your production of natural testosterone, but your body makes testosterone at night. So my theory has always been that if you're taking something with a shorter half-life, take it in the morning if it could suppress testosterone. Because that way when your body makes its testosterone at night, it'll be judging how much to make based on what your system is in your system at that time, and it'll be less in your system because you took it in the morning.
Hey, how's it going?
We've got questions too. We just started talking about AC262.
This is where we're filming, figuring it out.
So, what was the other question?
So, in regards to the workout, so I'm planning on doing this in conjunction with another sort of mental focused workout, which means I do 2 workouts a day, but one of them will be weight training, and then one of them will just be cardio. Will that be fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
So
now you can work out harder.
Yeah.
Because when you were natural, you were recovering slowly. And now you can recover very quickly. So you can work out harder more often. And you can eat more food. And
I can eat more food.
Because instead of the food going into your fat, the food's going to go into your muscle. Because you're giving that nutrient partitioning effect. It's like bodybuilders on steroids can eat huge amounts of food, and it's much harder for them to gain weight.
Oh, really?
You're not on steroids, but you're taking something that activates that pathway. So you can't eat as much as a bodybuilder. But you will be able to increase your carbohydrate consumption.
Oh, really? Wow.
And you'll be able to train harder. And the more carbs you eat, the harder you can train, the more you grow. And so these are all factors that when they work together work synergistically. So you could just add this and do nothing else. You will gain a little bit of muscle. But if you add this and you also eat more calories and train harder, then you have a lot of progress, faster, much faster.
Okay, because I'm wanting to kind of do the lean bulk, like have a 6-pack but still put on muscle weight. Will this do that?
Yeah,
or
do that, and you can judge along the way whether you start seeing your accumulated fat. You know you're eating too much. If you start leaning out, you know you're not eating enough.
Oh, really?
And I would err on the side of trying to maintain your same body fat. Because yes, you can use this to get cut. But I think it's better benefit to you saying it's your first cycle and you don't have a huge amount of muscle is use it to gain muscle. If you have a ton of muscle, I would tell you use it to get cut and diet hard. This will preserve the muscle. But with you, we want to maximize the amount of muscle growth.
And then when I come off it, will I retain that muscle, or do you think it'll just drop off?
In this case, you will, because none of it's going to be water retention. You're going to maintain it so long as you keep training at that level. And actually, because it's your first cycle, you'll probably maintain a good portion of it even if you stop training. Just like you'll get some permanent
Oh,
muscle
okay.
growth, but also it'll take you to the next level. Now you can lift harder, and if you keep lifting harder, even if you're natural after this, you'll maintain the muscle that you gain from this.
So how is that different to like, because I've heard like and watched other videos of guys that run like testosterone and things like that, and then as soon as they drop off, they lose the muscle side, they get depressed and all of
Because
that.
when you take testosterone or D-ball, you get water retention. That's
Yeah.
not a bad thing. It's good when it's in the muscle. It's bad when it's under the skin or around the heart.
Okay.
But when you get water retention and you're on gear, then when you come off gear, you lose the water retention.
Oh,
And when
okay.
you lose the water retention, you lose a lot of weight. So with a testosterone cycle, maybe you would gain 15 pounds,
Wow.
but you would lose 8 pounds of that as water.
Okay.
With the Sarm, you're not going to gain 15 pounds, but you're going to gain, like, whatever the difference between 8 and 15 is 7. You're going to
Yeah.
gain 7 pounds, and you're going to keep those 7 pounds. So in the end, whether it's testosterone or Sarm,
Yeah.
you're going to have the same net muscle growth. It just depends whether you went up even higher than that with water retention.
So I want to be training hard as well, right? Like, so usually, like, I want to be.
Is this yours or mine?
No, that's yours. I want to sleep tonight. So I want to be training harder, putting on more weights than what I usually train with, everything like that. Like, so that. Okay. In regards to my diet, usually I can cut at around 2,000 calories, and I drop my weight like at a nice rate where I don't lose too much muscle. You would recommend me eating more with this, like 2,005, 3,000?
If it takes you 2,000 calories to maintain your body weight, and you're going to train harder and take this, then yeah, you can go to 2,500.
Okay.
But it still matters what type of calories.
Okay.
Not so much at only 2,500 calories, but still
Yeah.
more carbs, more protein,
Okay.
less fat.
Okay.
You can eat fat sometimes, but like choose that fatty meal to not have so high carbohydrates. So like one night, eat a steak that's
Yeah.
fatty.
Okay.
And then eat like vegetables and stuff as their
Okay.
side instead of having potatoes and rice.
Okay.
And most of the time, try to choose like chicken and rice type meals.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's protein
Bro meals.
and a
Yep.
carb.
Okay. And then in regards to like acne and stuff, is there a chance of me breaking out with acne? Are there things that I can do to sort of combat that? Thank you. Combat that. One guy said drink more water. Does that work? Like I don't know. Like.
I would like you to ask these questions, and like you be the person asking the question in all these videos because your accent is so nice. I feel like you're in an episode of
Flight of the Conchords. Yep.
Now insert clip of Flight of the Conchords.
Yep.
No, but you asked acne.
Acne.
So you are not likely to get acne from this. None of us so
Really?
far have gotten acne from it. But
Cool.
you could. It's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
And if you did, drinking more water might help.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's that likely.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if it happens, there's not a lot we can do to contradict it.
Okay.
Or to fix it
Okay.
because it's a hormonal thing, and we're affecting your hormones. So
Okay.
it's not like it's a bacterial acne. It's not like
Yeah.
an oily. There's a lot of different types of
Okay.
acne. But this type of acne, if it happens, I can't.
Yeah.
I probably can't fix it unless it's because your estrogen testosterone ratio is messed up, in which I could give you a supplement to fix that ratio.
Okay.
I'd give you Blue Ox and Black Ox testosterone booster,
Okay.
and that would even out your testosterone,
Okay.
estrogen, and probably get rid of the acne if that happens.
Okay. Testicular size. Will I expect a decrease? A thing. I watched another video, and then the guy was like sitting there, and he was talking about it, and he was taking this stuff, and he said that he just felt it thumping, and he said that's probably the testosterone working or something. Should I expect that?
Okay, so the testicles shrinking.
Yeah.
That's because the testicles atrophy because they're not producing testosterone anymore.
Okay.
So your body doesn't need them, so they just get weak and they just shrink, like a muscle shrinks.
Okay.
To prevent that in bodybuilding, when we're using other steroids,
Yeah.
we take things like HCG, HMG, and that stimulates our testicles to keep working.
Okay.
So it depends on how much your testicles get shut down. If they get shut down completely, they're not producing any testosterone, then your balls will shrink, and your fertility will decrease, and your testosterone will decrease. That's what we see with something like DECA or Tren, these different steroids. or really high dosage of testosterone. But we just never see it with SARMs.
Okay.
We never see that much shutdown with
Okay.
SARMs. We do see
Cool.
some suppression. So like maybe the balls could shrink like the smallest amount, but not that much.
Okay.
But if that happens, there's so many things to counteract it.
Okay.
I said contradict before, not counteract.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, you could take HMG, HCG, Blue Ox test booster, Black Ox test booster, Clomid,
Okay.
and then anything else depending on whether it's your estrogen or testosterone is. We could take other ancillaries
Okay.
too. It's easy to fix.
Okay. Cool.
Well, and if you start having symptoms of low testosterone, which, you know, if you have one symptom, you're probably going to have some other symptoms.
We only ordered one.
Does he want one?
No, he wouldn't have ordered that. This is mango, right? And passion fruit. Yeah, I only wanted one. Yeah, I only wanted one.
You want a mango?
But it's okay. I will have both. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. It's okay. There we go. High style. No, she didn't want to take it. It's okay. All right. Okay, and then okay, there's that question. Okay. Hair loss, is that likely to happen with this?
Extremely unlikely. Also.
Okay.
I
Cool.
mean, again, it's something that could possibly happen. We would counteract it with minoxidil.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like a lot because
Yeah.
it sounds like, oh my gosh, you're going to come up with all these side effects, and I'm going to say, oh, well, then you'd have to take this, and you'd be like, oh my god, I got to take this plus 10 other things.
Yeah.
But it's only if that happens, and we don't know like what side effect you would have because so far we don't see any of these side effects with this.
Okay.
But like 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 100 people may have this side effect.
Okay.
You might be that one. When it comes to it, then I just don't want to scare you, but
Yeah,
I'll say yes, you could possibly have hair loss.
Yeah.
If so, we give you minoxidil,
Okay.
and then you wouldn't have hair loss.
Okay. Okay. I think I had other questions in regards to gyno. Is that a chance that might happen? I can get that or not really?
Also very unlikely.
Okay.
But if you did, I'd give you tamoxifen.
So what am I looking for in this? Because you said how what obviously stuff will change when I take this. What are there red flags that I need to watch out for and be like, Tony, this is happening, or Tony, is this normal?
Yes, but it's like I could come up with a checklist. The checklist I'd look up is like possible steroid side effects.
Okay.
And that would be your checklist. But you're familiar with all the steroids. You've never done steroids, but you know enough about fitness media that you've heard of all the steroids.
Yeah.
That's how you knew to ask about it.
Yeah.
So you already know really what the possible side effects are, as far as what you can feel and see. But your blood work is going to show you things that you can't feel and see.
Yeah.
So like we just won't know how your blood work looks until we get that test 1 month from now.
Okay. Okay.
And then at that time, also don't worry if something's out of range. We got something for that too. Like there's literally an ancillary for every possible side effect. So 1 month, he got one right before he starts the cycle now, and then he's getting another one at the end. And I told him also, like, with your blood work, I will analyze it with you. Yeah, so I saw a couple things that are interesting, so we'll talk about those. But it's not really relevant to much until we have something else to compare it to see like where it's going, because you don't know what his lab work was now versus a month before.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see how it changes.
And then what you expect will, like, you can say now what you expect will happen, and then we can compare that.
Yeah. Like in my lab work, I have my lab work almost every month, so I can go back and look what was changing and kind of relate it. So if something's a little bit high, I'd be like, oh, well, mine's always been high. It's not a problem. But if something changes, like, oh, it was low and now it's high, now we know that we're trending towards a problem. So like the second lab work will be how we'll do the analysis after the second.
So we're just basing it purely on the blood work then, like, because you said to run it until you have high testosterone or too high estrogen. How do I know that?
So you'll feel depressed.
I feel depressed all the time, Tony. That's why I live in Bangkok.
Even more depressed. Can you even imagine feeling more depressed? Maybe hitting rock bottom is what you need to finally wake up and do something with your life.
Okay, so I'll feel down. But, yeah, okay.
Low testosterone. So one side effect, he's saying, how would I know if I have low testosterone? I think the first thing you probably feel is like just feel down, like less motivated, less energy. Your confidence goes away.
My confidence, really.
Your sex, anything to do with sex will just be worse, not as good.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Then you have like
Yeah.
anxiety.
Okay.
He also
So,
has something.
so I can expect that to happen.
No, I wouldn't
No?
expect it.
Okay.
It's possible.
And-
You might, you might feel a little bit more aggression with this. You
Yeah.
actually might feel
No, I
like
need
you have
that.
higher testosterone.
I need that. Okay.
So that's more likely. But maybe at 3 weeks in, if your natural testosterone decreases, then you might start feeling aggressive, but also down at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
What weird way.
Okay.
That's not a good feeling.
What I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm a newbie, but I've been very interested in all the gear and steroids and all that. I've just been studying it, but
Yeah.
without ever really trying.
Yeah.
I heard like if you're taking like lower amounts of steroids, like for example testosterone and everything, you're not really likely to see side effects. Is that true?
Yeah, so if you take a little bit of steroids or SARMs or whatever, you're still going to get benefits, and it's probably significant, especially coming from natural to like a low dosage. And no, you're not likely to have any relevant side effects. Yeah, exactly.
What are you waiting
You
for?
will get less. You'll get less benefit. A day with Natty is a day wasted.
Yeah.
You'll get less benefit than if you took a lot more, but you'll also get less side effects. It's like, what kind of person do you want to be? You want to. It's the same thing as like, do you want to drive fast on the freeway? I mean, if you drive 10 miles an hour faster, you're going to get somewhere faster. Nothing's going to happen bad. You drive double the speed limit, you're going to get somewhere even faster, but you're also causing a lot of risk. So my style, even though I do a lot of crazy experiments, is to drive just 10 miles an hour faster. And in bodybuilding and fitness and health, like with chemistry, 10% is really significant because time is short. And there's a lot of other things fighting against muscle growth or whatever you're trying to use for chemistry. So
Okay.
yeah, you'll gain. I mean, your body will look very different.
Cool.
Your muscles will be harder. Your muscles will be bigger.
Good.
You will burn fat. You'll have more muscle definition. You'll be stronger.
Okay.
You'll be a real man.
Cool. I always wanted to be one. Cool. And so, okay. And then you said like I might feel if I have more estrogen or less testosterone, I might feel tired. I feel tired anyway. Like what's the difference? Can you explain that? Like.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
separate. How do you feel? Why do you feel? How do you?
'Cause I'm
why do
working
you
too
think
much.
You feel tired compared to other people, like compared to.
No, like today I'm smashed, like running around all day working and like, yeah. So like I'm like,
Energy levels?
how will that
Personally,
type?
I need a nap. Right. Nothing's gonna fix it. I can take more stimulants or
Yeah.
something like that. But the truth is, my brain needs a reset halfway through the day for me to be productive. Like
Okay.
you might need that, and then there's nothing else is going to be significant. Like how this makes you feel compared to the fact that your brain and body just needs a break during the day.
Mm.
That's going to be much more important.
Oh, okay. So, but will I notice a difference from different hormone levels because I'm more tired, or is that?
When you wake up in the morning, you would just feel with more testosterone, or maybe with this, you might just feel more like you can take on more stuff.
Cool.
Like things just seem easier. The best way to say it. Like instead of the world being on top of you, you feel on top of the world.
Good. Okay.
You know that feeling? You know the difference? Like sometimes your
Yeah.
dopamine is low,
Yeah.
let's say, and
Yeah.
you feel like
Yeah.
nervous. Yeah. And sometimes you feel like bring on anything.
Okay. I think that's all. I've just got one last question, most important one. Because this is a Psalms, can I still write Natty in my Instagram bio?
Natty plus.
Natty plus.
Technically correct.
Extra Natty.
Super Natty.
No, I think that's everything. I think. Yeah. Do you have any other questions about Psalms? Like. Yeah. Yeah.
No, actually, just want to learn more about.
You want here? Is this? But if it's done with AC262, we'll cut it and we'll do another one.
Oh, yeah,
Talking
it's
about. Okay, we're done with AC262. 10 milligrams per day, 1
You
month.
want to explain me real quick what this AC262 does?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of different SARMs to choose from. This is one of the newer ones, and shockingly few people have talked about their experience with it. So
Is that good or bad?
it's just, it's kind of like with steroids too. There's some really good steroids. I can't think of the best example, but like there's some great steroids that just aren't popular.
Yeah.
And why aren't they popular? It's mainly just because they're not popular. It's like in the steroid world, there's just this short list of steroids that became popular, and everybody just knows to order that, and so that's what they make. There's nobody out there because of the censorship, like really talking about a better steroid that's actually very rare that doesn't need to be rare, because if we just gave it the attention that it deserves, then it would be common and it would be cheap.
Yeah.
But as it is, like things that are not popular are also very expensive. Like AC262, the materials for this cost more than the ones that are common because supply and demand and how much the batches, they make a bigger batch. That's going into a lot of detail.
Okay.
What can you expect when you take
This is kind of like Trenbolone. So the muscles get harder, they get more defined, they grow depending on your calories, or if you're eating less calories, then you'll lose more fat and you'll just get that harder, denser look. We didn't try it for like crazy bulking. We were actually in all of our experiments, we were trying to recall, and like we didn't want to change so many variables that we wouldn't know what the drug was. Like we wanted to see, like, is this better for fat loss? Is this better for bulking? And what we found is, like, even if we dropped the calories pretty low, our muscles still remained more full, and we still remained like really anabolic, even with less calories. So it was really good for dieting. So normally I would have someone, like, they don't even need to add more calories. They could just keep the same calories. But I want Ricky to add calories because, like, when you're doing your first cycle, you have an opportunity to, like, really put on muscle and see what that feels like, which is, I think, more interesting than getting cut. Because there's a lot of things we can use to get cut. If you want to get cut, I would use a compound specifically made for cutting, in conjunction with this, of course. But, like, so this is this is a lean bulk, which can allow them to eat 500 more calories.
Oh.
And so what these SARMs do is, just like steroids or pretty much anything in bodybuilding, is nutrient partitioning. Okay, coming back. Silverware.
Fork and knife coming in a few minutes. Fork and knife coming in a few
Oh, fork and knife.
minutes.
Okay, coming back.
I thought he said food panda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Some of this is food you can back in.
the Trenbolone used for people who are burned to the third degree?
I think for burn victims, I think they use Winstrol and Anavar, which is funny. Those are the cutting steroids for bodybuilding for like competition. But I think those have special healing properties. Anavar and Winstrol for burn victims. Trenbolone. I mean, the thing is, people use Trenbolone when they want to get huge or they want to get strong. But Trenbolone is really better as a bodybuilding competition pre-contest drug because it preserves your better than growing muscle. It preserves muscle. It's really anti-catabolic, so you can kind of starve yourself, take Tren, lose a ton of fat, preserve all the muscle. Because normally when you're natural, when you diet, you lose 1 pound of muscle for every pound of fat after you get below a certain body fat percentage as a natty. So imagine like just being able to diet hard and just lose fat and not muscle. It becomes easy, right? So Trenbolone makes it easy to get shredded. But Trenbolone also has the most side effects, so that's why most veterans kind of stay away from Trenbolone, if they're doing this long term.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the young kids, that's why you saw criticism. They want to use Tren, they want to feel the power, they want to feel what's most hardcore.
Yeah.
But it really just doesn't make sense for most of the uses that it's being used for, in my opinion, because there's better compounds.
So there's because this isn't that intense.
But I'm so I'll tie it all together.
Oh.
But Tren is so amazing. It's amazing. It's just not worth the side effects. But this does everything that Tren does, in my experience, visually and with strength and looking at the muscle, how it changes in the experiments that we've done, without the side effects. But if I say that to the public, I am saying to the public, but I understand most people would never believe me, because it's ridiculous to say that an oral SARM without side effects or with minimum relevant side effects could do what people think is the most powerful steroid that has tons of side effects. Like this would actually change the game. And I don't know if it can push it to that limit. I don't know what happens if a 300-pound bodybuilder takes this and takes a really high dosage, if we can actually 100% replace trend. But I've seen in the bodybuilders that you've seen in Pattaya, all of these guys that I've experimented on, all agree that if you took this or you took trend, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference as far as the look and the feel of the muscle. And they also felt aggressive on it. Not as aggressive as trend, but they definitely felt aggression, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. If you're a tired person, then a little bit of extra aggression might be helpful. If you're an aggressive person, a little bit of extra aggression, maybe too much aggression.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Cool.
Peace, well, and full, friends of freedom, pioneers of human evolution. Love you.